I'm good.
All right, so let's do this then. As always, I'm gonna go 3, 2, 1, yada yada, and then your Emmer Jason, and then
Okay.
okay. So everything's on now, and I gotta do my Marco Satsu thing. Let me drink water. Three, two. Actually, let me close my door. 3, 2, 1. Hey everyone, welcome to the Kamen Rider Fourze discussion video. You know, if there's a discussion, then most likely that means a history of Kamen Riders coming up, and that's kind of why I'm doing this, but also because I really want to get my thoughts out in just a general point of view before I really dive deep into Fourze. So with me, I have, like, Fourze's #3 fan.
Hi, it's Emmer Jason.
It's Jason, and he's I know Jason as like the biggest Kamen Rider Fourze fan I know out of like all of my friends. So, uh, yeah. So of course I had to have Jason on. It's just the two of us, but that's okay. I have plenty to say about Fourze. So right off the bat, so yeah, so like History of Fourze is coming out. It's being planned.
Ooh.
It's already almost done, and I think it's not going to be in the way people expect it to be, but I'll still at least get my thoughts out there on Fourze as a whole. And the main thing I really want to bring up is that, man, Fourze is just such a special show. Like, not only to me, but like to everyone.
Yeah.
Like, people who don't even like Fourze are like, Fourze is still a nice show for those people who do like it. Because, to get a little behind the scenes stuff on this, there was like a couple of natural disasters that happened right around the time Fourze was being planned out, and so the creators and writers were like, we want to make a show that will make kids happy during these down times, and that's how Fourze was conceived. It was just a really happy, fun shows, and I think that they specifically said I want it to be a fun show for kids to go out and play and to make them be happy. Hello, Jen. Welcome to the discussion video.
Hi Marcos, welcome to
Hello.
this video.
And that's basically the gist of Fourze. It's just a really fun, happy show. Like, yeah, there are emotional moments, but the core of Fourze is friendship. And how can you hate friendship? Like, I'll get into some negativities that people don't like later on, but for the most part, yeah, I really like Fourze. It's just a really special show. Jason.
I can definitely agree, cause Fourze is really special to me because of how like heartfelt it is, and it feels so wholesome. The characters
Mm-hmm.
all feel really, really, really wholesome to me. Gentaro is always will be one of my favorite pro tags in Toku,
Mm-hmm.
and they all. Speaking of the characters, they all like blend together so well, in my opinion.
Yeah, Fourze cast is good.
Hi, Breezy.
Hi, Marcos.
Yeah.
It's
It's
Fourze.
amazing.
Yes.
Fourze is really fun. I really like
Right.
Fourze.
Yeah, I know like everyone here is just a big fan of Fourze. Uh and the very few times I see people not like Fourze, it's for some reason like when I do see people say they don't like Fourze, it's like they don't like Fourze whatsoever. Like it's probably like the worst writer show to those people who don't like it at all, which is really weird to me. Like
They
I've
must pick
Blasphemy.
one.
I've seen it more than a couple of times through Facebook and Twitter. Like the people who don't like Fourze just outright say it's like the worst season of all time, and it's
I'm
crazy, huh?
I'm
But
pretty
never
sure
elaborate.
I'm pretty sure those people that hate Fourze are the same ones that say they wouldn't mind seeing Gaim on HBO, and I'm dead serious.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
That they want
Wow.
that they want a more mature writer. I'm dead serious. I bet they're one of those people.
I'll elaborate
Wow.
on that. In that, um, I don't want to sound mean here, but like not Sentai purists, Showa purists, or people who think Kamen Rider should just be this one specific like image or this one specific thing of like it's such a manly show that didn't have toys at all, and it shouldn't have to do with like these high schoolers and friendship and
Manly show.
yeah, I know. I've seen it too many times that that shouldn't have been said, but still, like literally in the first page, I say something like, Kamen Rider is always bound to evolve. It shouldn't just be focused on this one thing. Like, it's not even mostly about bugs anymore at this point. And I think having a high school setting actually helped out a lot in Fourze because, like I said, like they wanted kids to really enjoy stuff. So having like a younger view, like younger cast to really like show the youthfulness, the happiness, and maybe this could be high school for some people. Just having friends and enjoying your time there is what really helped Fourze to just be this awesome show. And like you said, Jason, Gentaro's this really wholesome character. And even though there are a few negatives I have personally, which we'll get to,
About Gentaro?
yeah, not about Gentaro, but about some of the cast.
Oh.
But I guess that's where we can start off first is the cast. I'll just say outright is probably not my favorite cast, but they are very good characters that blend together very well, like Jason said too. Cause you have the jock, you have the friendship loving main character, you have the serious character with Kengo. You also have like the happy go lucky girl, which is Yuki, and then you have the emo girl, and like it's like this hodgepodge of specific people in certain cliques that you wouldn't really see together, but they are
Breakfast
together.
Club.
And they are and they work so well together too. Jason.
It's amazing because one of those people is also some fucking agent from another school. Like, geez, I didn't have that in high school. Holy hell!
Wow, not in your high school, but in mine, I had several agents.
Okay.
So yeah, Breezy, who's your favorite character of the Kamen Rider Club?
That's hard.
Yeah.
I mean, I could just go with Gen. I just really like Gen. He's great.
Jason.
Honestly, I'd probably stick with Gantaro, even though it's probably really basic of me to say. But Yuki was pretty good. I really enjoyed Yuki.
Mm-hmm.
Her dynamic with Gantaro was really, really cute.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, and also Tomoko was really nice too. My best girl. It's
Oh yeah.
right there.
In the first episode, when Gentaro is introduced to the class as a new kid, and then Yuki's like, "Oh, it's Gen-chan," and then they like
do the
immediately,
handshake.
yeah, that's so cute. Like I love
It is
things
very
like
cute.
that. That was great. Jin.
I'd say it's a tie between JK and the jock guy. I think his name is Shun.
Mhm.
Diamond G.
Jin, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, JK because like he basically was like the weak link. Like I thought it was gonna be the weak link of the group, but he ended up being, I think, one of my favorite members, just
Mhm.
because of how like I don't know the right word for it, but he always
became-
managed.
He
What?
became very integral.
Yeah, integral to the team. Like he had no important skills, but he always helped out and managed to do it right.
Mm.
And Shun was just like the bodyguard of the whole group. I remember that one scene where he went to face the Zodiac by himself, and the Zodiac said, "Are you strong?" He said, "I'm not strong, but I can run fast," and he ran away.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's very, yeah, not just cute, but it's very awesome to see these characters. Like they get fleshed out a lot more than I would expect to. I think Jake is probably my favorite out of the whole Kamen Rider Club.
Oh yeah, that one episode.
Which one?
I mean, like like those, the episode pair that was focused on him, like around the end.
Yeah, and like it was like his friend, and he was trying to become a rock star, and then Jake like sided with him, and then everybody
Right,
was
yeah.
like, yeah, that was one of my favorites too. And then there was like a couple other kids that were like, you're part of the Kamen Rider Club now, and then you never see them again. It was like in the middle of
Oof.
the show.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? They flipped the switch in the movie.
Oh, you're right. They're part of the main cast now. But
Yeah.
yeah. So like the cast is very wholesome, and they've worked together a lot better than I would expect. And I know people probably know this by now, but my least favorite is obviously Ryusei, Kamen Rider Meteor.
Oof.
I think the cast worked well, or like worked good enough without him to the points where I was like, "Oh, Ryusei's here." I completely forgot, and I know that's just me, but each character just is great on their own, but like as like a club, as friends, as a team, is just so good. And I love seeing the happiness that these characters get, and Gentro is like the core of it all, where like his friendship really brought them all together. And of course the beginning episodes where like he's actually getting the club together, and he makes friends with Shin and or Shun and forgot her name. Uh
Miyu.
Miyu, yeah, and them being together, and they were like super mean at first, but then Gentro is the one who actually like makes friends with them, and then Shin and Miyu leave like their old cliques behind, and it's just so good, guys. Like it's just okay.
Another thing about the Rider Club, in my opinion, is that they're really funny. Like each one of them is incredibly funny.
Mm.
There's a bunch of moments like where you notice in like the background they're like doing a little gag while
Oh,
like the
yeah,
main
yeah.
characters are talking.
Uh-huh.
Like example, like Jake's like poking at Ryusei while Ryusei's just brooding. You know, stuff
Yeah.
like that. It's really funny to me.
Regarding Ryusei, like at first he was like pretty like the typical secondary writer during the time.
Oh,
But I
definitely.
think
Oh
like
yeah.
near the end where he's like, where he actually became Gitaro's friend, he actually got a bit more character, even though it's just comedic stuff. Because I remember one scene where when they were in that I think training simulation for like becoming an astronaut, and they had to sit in his room and make these origami
Oh yeah, the
for like
origami cranes.
hours.
Yeah.
And then
the
he
moment-
lost it.
Yeah, he was losing in mind that he ran like up to the camera, like ripped a piece of paper, screaming, and like after that scene, he thought to himself, "I better not let them know that I failed." He couldn't keep this cool.
Yeah, that's
And I love his wachas.
his
Oh
big
yeah,
sleeve stuff.
definitely.
Like Ryusei himself is fine, but him as Meteors is, I just really like the meteor suit.
So sparkly.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
That's one of my main problems with Ryusei. I just think he's super boring and not very. I don't know how else to put this without making people mad. I just think he's boring and not that, and a basic secondary character. Yeah, that's it. He's super basic.
Yeah.
But I know
He's
people
most
like him.
secondary writers. He's like most secondary writers. Like they're really stoic at first, but after they grow closer to the main writer, they show that they're actually like idiots behind the scenes. Like they just it's all a fucking front that they have.
I mean, that's nice. That's nice.
Yeah, but it gets overdone.
And I think to go back a little bit in that the characters are funny. I think Fourze is just a funny show in general. It's not meant to be like the full on comedic toku, but there are a lot of comedic moments in it. I think I really love the Hayabusa song that Yuki and the other characters do at the club, and they make this into like a really hard rock song for some reason.
That dumb hat that
That was
wore.
great. God.
Yeah, the Hayabusa obsession was just really adorable to see, and there are plenty of jokes in Fourze that I think work very well. And of course, I also got to bring up that it is funny, but there are also moments that actually bring all of it together. It's not just supposed to be slapstick for the point of slapstick, but the characters feel like that's something, just some random dumb thing they would do in the background actually makes sense because that's how their personalities are. So I think I really enjoy the writing a lot too. Although looking back at my notes, Fourze does tread a lot of previous ground that other shows did, like especially Double. There's a lot of like comparisons with Double I can make with Fourze. Like it was probably too to the point of like comparison of Double, but either way, I think Fourze was able to like stand on its own with just its characters alone, and the story was there. It was a story, I guess.
I mean, like the Double, O's, and Fours are kind of like the three starters, like for Kamen Rider. I mean, they're really nice. And I personally prefer Fourze.
They're the three most consistent in Heisei.
Yeah,
in
definitely.
my opinion. Fourze compared to Double, I think Double has more of like it's more consistent with its formula, while Fourze is kind of scrambled, if that makes any sense. with its like the characters of the week or like the side
Mm.
characters of the week, and it's more like all over the place. But that's what makes it fun to me. Double had a formula.
Oh yeah, it's formulaic. It's episodic. I think Fourze is the most episodic out of the Double O's Fourze thing. I've said before in a previous stream that I think Fourze, to me, in my personal opinion, is like the weakest of the three, but it's still really, really good. I don't know how else to convey that without it sounding it weird, but I think Double just had like the better story, and O's had the better arcs, and Fourze has the better characters. It's just even though the story isn't super consistent, it's still really fun to see week to week what these characters are gonna do or who the monster is, and the Zodi arcs are pretty cool on their own too. And there are a couple arcs that stand out to me with Fourze. Like I watched it like a while ago actually for History of Fourze. It was, man, I forgot them already. What the heck? If I can pull out my notes here. So there was this arc that we mentioned earlier with like Jake and like his friend who's like a Zodiart, and they're trying to make a band and stuff. Like that's good for his development. And then like Miyu in the beginning of the show where she's like this queen bee of the school, and then she learns, hey, my friends are actually kind of jerks, and then later on one of her friends becomes a Zodiart too, and then then Miyu's like, I kind of forgive you, but you're still a jerk, and yada yada. Like all that stuff is great because it also teaches kids, and I think that's what kids really needed around this time, because again, Fourze aired after like some natural disasters, and it was fun, but it also had these moral lessons of like, hey, be a good kid and make some friends out there. And that was also Gentaro's shtick too, where like, what is his dad or grandpa was like, hey, if there's anything you want to do in life, at least make some friends to do it with. And I thought that was one of like the cutest and coolest things I've heard in Kamen Rider, and it's
Yeah,
just
I think
so
it
good.
was his grandpa.
Yeah, it's just, there's only so many times I can say Fourze is really good, guys. So, Jin,
It's a really nice show.
Yes.
howdy.
Uchukita.
We should get to the. Okay, so moving past the cast. So like I said before, the story is it's super
I mean,
basic.
it's simple.
It's simple.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Sometimes basic is best.
Yeah, and that's not a bad thing. It's simple. It might be too simple for me personally, but it worked. It really worked in its favor because again, it's more about the characters in the story. Cause like the whole evil thing with the principal and like the other teachers, I thought that was like that just didn't make any sense to me, or anything like that. Like it was just there for the most part, but it moved things along, I guess. And then Ryusei coming in kind of changed things, I guess. And yeah, what? Okay, never mind. The story isn't good now that I think about it. Sorry, I think it's more of a mess than anything else that I can remember off the top of my head. Yeah. Oh yeah, so that's why History of Fourze is going to be like 30 minutes, by the way. There's like no story to talk about. It's mostly characters in the movies and I guess the suits. Actually, I guess we can go into that. Breezy,
What?
favorite suit.
Base Fourze. It's basic, but you know what? It's simple. I actually really love the rocket helmet. I really love it. And the eyes.
Does anyone remember where there was like rumors that Forze's gimmick was going to be about eggs?
What?
Eggs.
And then the helmet got leaked in like a scan, and they were like, "Oh, it is going to be about eggs." Someone was right for once.
Oh my
Did they not see the fins?
god.
You're a Finn.
How
Jin.
dare you?
Yeah, I don't really like Forze's other forms that much. I mean, they've grown on me, but I don't know. I think like base states is best.
Yeah, I agree.
I like the colors of base states.
Yeah, it's really simple and nice.
I love the orange on it. I think it's probably like one of the best colors they could have done. Like silver, orange, and white is such a good combination to me, and I'm really glad that's like the main colors of Fourze. Although I know a lot of people don't like Forze's suits, I'm one of them. Sorry, but at least everything else looks good. Like the helmet, I don't really like that much anymore, but everything else looks great. I love like the symbols on his body parts, and like and the whole base suit just looks really clean, like an astronaut suit. That's a Kamen Rider, and yeah. Jason, favorite suit.
I'm gonna get a lot of flack for this because I said before that I didn't like it, but now I do like it. It's Meteor's suit.
Oh no.
Uh,
I think Meteor's
base
suit is
Meteor or Meteor
base
Storm?
base Meteor. I think base Meteor is really good. I at first I didn't like it because I thought like it looked kind of puffy, but like weirdly like the proportions to me it looked weird, but like over time I started growing to like it. I started growing to the little sparkles on it, and like the helmet is just really good.
Mm.
Yeah. My least favorite suit, however, is Magnet States.
Oh,
Oh
it's
yeah.
so chunky.
That suit is god awful.
God,
It's-
with the helmet chest piece thingy on the.
That thing looks so ridiculous. It's like what's the one from Drive? Formula.
No, Formula looked a bit better in my opinion, because at least the
I-
helmet was kind of felt a bit separate, and it's not like super big.
I don't know. Formula's kind of eh.
I
don't
think
know if
Mag-
Formula's slightly better for me, but okay.
Magnet is the real egg form for Fourze.
Sorry about that.
It's okay.
Yes, a bigger egg.
Favorite suit, Jin?
That's tough because I think my biggest negative about Fourze are the suits.
High five, Jin.
But the thing is like I don't hate them. I'm just like they're just
Yeah.
Like Forze's base suit, like base states is pretty cute. Like it's iconic almost. It's like
cute.
it's iconic now.
Mm-hmm.
Like just how different and goofy it is. But if I had to choose, it'd have to be Fourze fusion states. Just cause I love how
Yeah, the purple.
the mix with the purple, like the sort of
It's like the galaxy design on his like
Mhm.
undersuit.
yeah, the fact that with the yellowish or like some glow yellow like lights that he have and accents on his like suit as well, they fit really well with the purple. Unlike Meteor Storm, because that's the worst suit in this show.
Agreed.
Oof,
High
the
five.
colors.
Like,
I don't
it's not
know. I don't
good.
know. I don't know. It's just like for Meteor and Beast. Why is there like their final forms is just like a kind of ugly combination
it 2
between
times in a
yellow,
row.
blue, and red.
they try to make us like blue and gold together.
Their choice of yellow just didn't work with the pearlescent blue that they used. It just did not work. And plus
It
the
really
designs were
didn't.
bad.
I mean, like in concept, I kind of like Meteor Storm's like two tails of fire or whatever, the double spikes. But then,
Oh,
and I
yeah.
love like the spinny top bow staff, and that was
Oh,
cool.
I love that weapon. It's amazing.
But colors
Beyblade.
are let it rip. Wow.
I think my favorite suit's gonna be a bit unconventional, and I know you guys are gonna groan at this, but my favorite suit is Kamen Rider Ginga because it uses Fusion Suit's undersuit, and it
my
just looks
God.
really good.
I hate
Okay,
Ginga.
how dare you?
I like Fusion States, but I don't like Ginga's suit, even though it's the same thing.
Wow. Okay. So my actual unconventional answer is gonna be the Kamen Rider Fourze Meteor Nadeshiko fusion
The one with the
with the skis. Yes.
Oh my God.
I like it because it's so dumb. Okay, that's why I like it.
Actually, one of the more underrated suits, in my opinion, is Rocket States.
Oh yeah,
Where he's
yeah, yeah,
orange. He has
yeah.
the two. He
Oh,
has the
yeah.
that I think that suit is genuinely really cool, even though it's just a recolor.
Yes.
I actually really like it, like the blue and the orange.
Mhm.
It's nice.
I like that too. The SIC Kamen Rider Fourze, it came out not too long ago, and I think that was probably like the best design for Fourze I've ever seen. Because
Yes, I see.
yeah, the you know, where they make them more realistic and like out there, the designs, and Fourze one just looks gorgeous.
It
Like
looked really cool.
I love how like his drill foot is like this ginormous thing that he has to like actually like lift up his leg like all the way up to his hip to like even stand on it. Like I just love stuff like that. Like like these ginormous weapons.
He also had like a bunch of like pipes connecting to like an actual like astronaut. It was cool.
Yeah, I really love that stuff. I actually really like the space motif that they went for with Fourze. It's not something that would have realistically been feasible because having anything in space, even if it's green screen, will always cost a lot of money. But space is more like a secondary theme because you only see it like in the rabbit hatch like a couple of times and stuff like that. But
The first one's friendship.
but the whole space thing worked a lot better than I thought because the Kamen Rider Club is not only about the Kamen Riders, but it's also in space, and you actually like see the outer space stuff, even though it's probably like a green screen or like an electronic screen with like a wallpaper behind
the
it.
actors in space.
Oh, you're right. and I think
the rabbit hutch was so cool.
yeah,
It was. It's one of my favorite bases.
Yes, absolutely. And one of my favorite scenes in Fourze is actually like in episode 1 when they go to the, or I think it's episode 2 where they go to Rabbit Hatch for the first time, and then Gentaro like sees Earth from the moon and like he has a little tear in his
crying.
eye. Yeah. Like I think that's just so wholesome to see. And then one of my favorite jokes is in the movie when they're training to go to space, and I think it was Jake, he's like laying on the ground and he's like, "Man, going to space, that must be awesome." And then Yuki's like, "But we go there all the time." And I just really love that.
God. Well,
Yeah.
I think that's for me because I never felt they were in space in the rabbit hatch.
Yeah. They were definitely on a stage in one of the Toei Studios warehouses. So yeah. I really wish I could say a lot more about Fourze, but again, History of Fourze is only going to be like 30 minutes or like even 45 minutes at most because it's really hard to talk about a good show more than a bad show because at least with a bad show, you have plenty to talk about because I can guarantee you History of Wizards is going to be like an hour and a half long. but Fourze is just going to be like, it's really good, guys. Like if you haven't watched it, you should watch it. And that's basically the gist of what I can say about like Double O's and Fourze. They're just good shows. I don't know what else I can say. Fourze is wholesome. It has friendship. It's just super nice to watch. It's if you want to watch something laid back, or Fourze is actually one of those shows where if you haven't watched, or if you only watched like halfway through and you haven't watched in like a year or something, you can still go back into it because it's episodic. It's fine to just go back into it. Like it's just a good show.
Not to mention, it has one of the best movie core movies.
Oh yeah, because it has like the three writers together.
It was so good. Like, writer will never be able to achieve that anymore. Considering the type of actors they're getting, they suddenly just vanish from Tokusatsu once they're done.
In it, of course, it's good.
Yeah.
I mean, it has everyone. It's so good.
I think what is it, Movie War Megamax? That's probably like one of my top 5 favorite Toku movies ever. Probably like my top 2 favorite Kamen Rider movies, and it's really good. Yeah, I agree.
Is that Fourze and O's or Fourze and Wizard? I thought Fourze and Wizard was
Movie War
Ultimate.
Megamax.
That's
is
Ultimate.
Fourze and O's.
Oh, the one with Fourze and Wizard was terrible.
I don't think I've seen that.
Don't watch it.
I mean, like the Wizard half. It was only there for the Fourze half.
No, the whole thing is bad.
But
the only
Gentaro in a suit. Gentaro in a suit.
Still.
I'll admit the weakest point of Fourze to me is probably the ultimatum portion of Fourze. it was fine, but it probably should have been part of the show rather than a movie, if you know what I mean.
Oh yeah.
The Inazuman stuff was really weird too. Like that just kind of came out of nowhere. But
is that the one? Is that the one in Inazuman?
Yeah,
I
that
thought it was like
movie
something
was trying
separate.
to put like old Ichinomori properties and stuff, and I guess they just.
What was the movie that it also had like the original Inazuman suit along with like the other Ishinomori stuff? I think I'm thinking of the O's movie. Yeah, I think that was the O's movie. But yeah,
Really?
Because in Ultimatum they updated the Inazuman suit, and they also updated the Hellish Brothers suits that I forget the actual name of for Wizards portion. But anyway, okay, back to Fourze. So Fourze was just super wholesome in general, and I just love it a lot. And like I keep saying, like I don't know what else I can say about Fourze. Like everybody's already said everything they could about Fourze. It's a good show. It's wholesome. It's friendship. It's Uchu Kita. It's I I don't know.
Are we gonna get into spoilers in this?
I thought we have been getting into spoilers.
Oh,
Ooh, I gotta leave, but
Thank you, Brichi.
yeah.
I have to say though that I think Forze's ending is probably the strongest one. Well, probably one of the strongest Kamen Rider endings in
I agree.
in writer's history. Just with the well, the fact they should have kept Kengo dead, but they couldn't do that.
Oh,
But
okay.
the fact that he left that that letter for everyone, the emotions going on, Saite playing, Forze fighting the principal in his human form,
Yes.
while everybody gave their thanks to him.
Yes.
Like, God, that was so good.
The last couple episodes of Fourze like literally made me cry multiple times. Just the
Yeah.
letter scene, and then the scene where he's fighting the principal, or the he's not the principal. What is he?
The Sagittarius Zodiac.
Mm.
Yeah, and like Saita and everything, and they're all chanting for him, and they're all doing their like graduation speeches and everything. It's just it rips your heart out.
Yeah.
The fact
Fourze's
that they
ending
all,
literally rips your heart out. It's so good.
yeah, the fact it's a graduation from the school, graduating from the principal, that they no longer need him for everything he did.
Another scene that not
yeah.
all people talk about that's really sad is when they're all in the space museum, and then Yuki starts singing the Hayabusa song, and she's crying, and it's just really sad, but it's also really wholesome, and Fourze is just good. Please watch Fourze.
And that hype fight scene that Ryusei gets against the Leo Zodiac.
Oh yeah, dude.
I'll agree that the finale to Fourze is really good. Like really up there. I'd even say like top 3. Saite is probably one of my favorite songs ever in Kamen Rider. I think it was in my top 10. I hope it was in my top 10. But it's just a really good song, and I think one of my favorite lines at the ending was like, "We're graduating from you, principal. Thank you so much." And then they transform and oh man, I need to rewatch that scene again just because it's so good.
The fact that Gentaro didn't even use cosmic states, he just used base states.
Right,
That's
yeah.
Rider finale right there.
And that's why Fourze base states is the final form, guys. Come on.
I'll start this.
See, Forze's final form is his base states and Gimes is Pine Arms.
It's realizing states.
Oh my gosh. Don't even.
Realizing this school doesn't need you anymore.
Hello, Spikyle Forum.
Fourze.
What's that?
Thank you. So yeah. What else can I even talk about here? So I actually like the villains in concept. The if it has to do with space, then of course the next thing would be like Constellations. I thought the suits were absolutely gorgeous, except for like the first one, but everything else is gorgeous. The very first monster he fights, is that Orion? Yeah, I thought that was a little too bulky for me, but I love every other suit in the show. I think
the horoscope suits are so good.
Yes,
I love Cancer's suit like so much. Scorpio's really good too.
Yeah, they're really well designed. Like I love the stars that you see like on their suits and the constellations that they become on there too. They're very pretty to look at. I love them so much. But when it comes like the actual villain, oh yes, special form.
I also like, besides the designs, I love the introduction of horoscopes and how they make a distinction between like, you have the normal zodiarts, but then the difference is when you have the commanders and you have the actual horoscopes come in. Like, I think like halfway through the series when they started introducing the first few horoscopes, being like, Cancer, I think was the first big one, and then you went on into some really interesting ones like Aries is a really big one also. They got some really great story arcs, and even though they were like around for like a short amount of time, you really got to feel like the difference between them and the actual zodiarts on how they've all not only evolved, but some of them were actually students, and they just like became so like I guess aware of their own power and their own strength that they just got on par with just Gamo, and Gamo's just like excellent. Like then you just see Libra getting frustrated with all of them, just being like you're just so immature. It's like why don't you just act more your age? And Gamo's like, no. This is all a part of their own unique stars. Like every star is different. And but I do feel like I guess towards the end of the show they were kind of rushing the introduction of the commanders, and they just started doing like every episode with a new commander. They did try to explain it though, because they did that whole like field trip to like I think Kyoto. They said we destroyed the last mound of cosmic energy that was in Kyoto, so now all of the energy has moved to the school. So now they're gonna appear more because it's like, yeah, okay. Guys are running out of time, but yeah, that and Gemini is creepy. That's what I wanted to say.
God.
Yeah, I being episodic, it's a good thing. I mean, it's fine, but also being episodic means that the like the main generals of like the whole the Zodiarts that they're supposed to get only appear for like 2 episodes towards the end, which is one thing I don't really like. But aside from that, everything else is still really nice in terms of the villains. The whole principal's plan was really weird to me and still doesn't make much sense. That's why he had to wait like 50,000 years just to like put this school together and be like, students are going to be here. I guess it's going to be part of the plot to destroy the moon or something like that. It was just really weird to me. But we had Tachibana-san back for like a month into the show, which is cool. We actually
probably the better or probably the best villain in my opinion.
Yes.
Oh well, we had Tachibana and I forgot her name again. The little girl from Blade. That she played one of the goth girl. Yeah, she played one of the goth girls that was like I think Tomoko's friend.
Oh yeah.
They also had like Hurricane Blue back for a couple episodes.
Oh yeah.
It was the unicorn, was it?
Yeah, and and one of the alternatives from Ryuki, he's one of the teachers there.
Oh yeah,
bad boy.
Yeah,
bad boy.
You're what they call
bad
boy.
Yeah, I like him too. I think people already know this by now. It's probably like common knowledge that Fourze was gonna be this anniversary, the 40th anniversary of Kamen Rider, and they were planning stuff for it. But then Decade already happened, and they were like, it's already too soon to do an anniversary. So
it's gonna happen next year.
So they didn't really stick with it. But their previous plans they had for Fourze was really interesting, where they would still have a Kamen Rider club, but they were gonna like investigate mysteries around the city that had to do with like previous Kamen Riders, and we'd have cameos, which is why we have like Tachibana there, Tachibana's actor.
That should have been
weird.
Geo. That should have been Geo.
Yeah.
The high school setting would have worked a lot better with Geo.
Agreed.
I mean, at least they got some nods.
Like, just imagine like one episode of Geo, Sogo, Gate, Tsukuyomi, and Wolves are like students in a classroom, and suddenly Tokeshi Hongo walks in as a guest lecturer.
Yeah, that's something like that would have been great, but I already did a Geo discussion. I didn't want to talk about it again.
Well, after you're done with almost like all of the Heisei shows.
Yeah. I think Fourze balanced the school theme really well. I mean, like the school theme was the focus. Like it wasn't like Geo where school was like he just happens to be a student, but like Fourze, like he was actually a student, like one of the reckless anime students, like, you know, and the protagonist. It was like I won't wear my uniform, and it's just whatever. But you have like one of the moments that stood out a lot to me in Fourze was ironically in the movie. In the what was it like Mina de Uchukita that movie? Because you had that moment where they were just running around the school in desperation, just giving everyone a switch. And then make those connections. It's just like, oh snap! Like they did really give this person like a moment. They did in some way save such and such person from such and such situation. And then you just kind of being like, they all have a connection to kind of Gentaro in general. None of them have a connection to Ryusei, but they all have a connection to Gentaro. And so they're all like That moment is really powerful because they probably don't know, they probably don't have any idea what's going on, but they know that Gentaro is Fourze, he's in trouble, and he helped them, and it's time for them to return the favor. So that moment was just really like a testament to the whole friends thing. Because, like, Gentaro spends the whole show talking about friendship, but there are certain episodes in Fourze where you just go, like, now I really feel what you mean, because it's like, you're really actually creating this connection with people, and then to see that reciprocated is really powerful.
I think Fourze has really good like world, or it's technically school building, but like world building with its like side characters. Um, they they all mattered, and like they were all really really important to Gentaro. Uh, they all like seeing them all in the movie was just really touching. Cause like whoa, like this like feels like it feels like a school. Like they're all recognizable, and you're like, what? You're like it's just really good. That scene is just really good to see all the
Yeah.
students back.
I'm probably like I'm probably like really dumb for getting shocked by this, but like the moment they revealed that Tachibana was that Emoto guy and that he was also the Virgo Zodiac, that was actually like a really shocking moment for me. And it's probably dumb because like I didn't see it coming at all.
I didn't see it coming either. Yeah.
It was pretty early on in the show. Or I think it was like halfway through. Like it was the beginning of a new arc, and Gentaro is just going through his day, and he says like hi to just random students. He's like, hey, so and so, what's up? And then he keeps walking. He's like, hey, so and so, and these are characters you haven't seen before. So like just having that school building, world building around there with like Gentaro actually making friends with people we haven't seen on screen is really nice to me, and he actually makes friends with the teachers too. So that's cool.
Yeah.
I
Oh
guess.
yeah, and Ultraman Victory's actor was also in Forza
Oh
for an
yeah,
episode.
he was which one was he? I don't remember.
I know he was a soldier, but that was it.
Yeah.
Man, just imagine if we were in the timeline where Gintaro actually took up the chance to become an Ultraman Ginga, and Hikaru Raido,
Ginga.
and Hikaru Raido's actor chose to become Fourze, dude. Imagine that
It would have came
timeline.
full circle.
Oh
Because
no.
weren't those shows airing at the same time?
It was around the same time, yeah.
Yeah, both high school setting, and one of them succeeded while the other flopped real hard.
Which one was it?
Ultraman Ginga.
I joke, but I think that's basically everything we can cover about Fourze. Uh, mm, Fourze is a good show, guys. Yeah,
Watch Fourze.
that's basically it. So history of Fourze should be around Christmas. Like I said, it's almost done. I just need to like do a couple extra things and then it'll be done. But
And fun fact, at the end of the history of Kamen Rider Fourze, Marcos is actually going to read a letter to every single one of his subscribers telling them, how much they mean to him as their friends. It's going to take like probably 50 minutes, but he's going to do it. And it's going to be really, really emotional, you guys. Look forward to it.
thank you, Special Form. I'm glad you agreed to volunteer and read those for me.
Anytime.
Subarashi. Oh wait, there's one more thing I want to bring up. So it's actually pronounced Fourze. In the katakana, it's Kamen Rider Fourze, and in the show they say Fourze. So I don't know where anyone's getting Forza or Fourze. It's Fourze or Forge. I think Forge is one of
If
the
you pronounce it
weirdest.
Fourze, I don't trust you.
I think Fourze is the weirdest one I've heard. Forza and Fourze I can kind of get, but
I say
Forze
Fourze.
is weird. Yeah, it's Forze if you want to say it in English, but if it is, but in Japanese the katakana says Fourze. Kamen Rider Fourze, Kamen Rider Zo, Kamen Rider Tor.
Geo.
No, Kamen Rider Geo, not
Geo,
Zio.
not Zio.
It's Zo. Kamen Rider Zo. And I made it a point to actually like to take like 5 minutes and put like the the darn logo on there, and I was like, Japanese lesson. This says Kamen Rider Fourze, you know. So yeah. Anyway, that's my short rant for Fourze.
That's his least favorite thing about this entire show.
is that it's pronounced Fourze, and in the show they say Fourze, Fourze. So anyway,
I remember that one episode where it was just like a whole discussion of how to pronounce Fourze, and it was like that one character from America just like, "Hey, Fourze," and it's like, no,
Fours.
Fourze.
I like that character it was the girl who like transferred from America or something. So like Japanese is hard, and I feel that she's like the most relatable character in Kamen Rider.
Hello and welcome to Marco Satsu Fourze discussion.
Wow,
Hi.
Liz, right when I was about to end it.
Wait,
mean,
but I have a lot to talk about it. It's like a really fun show, and I really
There's like one thing we're forgetting to talk about here regarding Fourze,
Hello.
and it's the
Which
fact
is?
that it's a sequel to Fourze.
Okay, with all that being said, thank you all for watching. History of Fourze should be coming soon. And when I say Fourze, I mean Fourze. Kamen Rider Fourze.
Does this mean that next year, since the 50th Rider anniversary, does that mean the next Rider is going to be a sequel to Fourze and Fourze?
Kamen Fourze. Kamen Fourze.
それは残ですね、Chazuchi-san.
Threeze.
Ah,
Do you think they're going to finally like close the chapter with the Orphanon King still being alive?
I'm gonna cry. Thank you all for watching. See you all next time.
Ciao.
Later.